Hello.
Hello!
Happy 2-year anniversary, Carl's Wine Club members.
Happy 2 years anniversary, Mira Boucher, Canadian wine lovers, and everyone across that beautiful country on July the 2nd, the day after Canada Day. That's when, 2 years ago, we have launched Carl's Wine Club, and here we are. I love your backdrop, Mira.
We actually launched it on Canada Day, but we were traveling on Canada Day. We got stuck for a 48-hour delay on our flight back from Niagara wine country. If you can believe that.
Yep. And it's not only delay, like it's been cancellation by this, like over delay, cancellation, held up.
Well, let's start with the crappy story because it's kind of captivating. Some of you who are not traveling may not know what you're missing, and that is craziness, pandemonium. There's like 5 to 10 times more traffic through the airports this week than there were pre-pandemic on average, and it is going nuts. And so first, Wednesday morning, we were supposed to fly out on a less than 4-hour direct flight, and thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Jeanette. Happy anniversary to you.
So what was supposed to be a direct flight Wednesday early morning, and we're supposed to be home by lunchtime.
No, we were supposed to be home by 8:30 in the morning.
We got home in the afternoon of Friday.
Yes. So
that's what happened.
Two overnights, no hotels the second night. They were all booked. We finally found one at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah. But they sent us to a room where there was already people sleeping in that room.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's ever happened to you, to walk into a room at 2:30 in the morning at a hotel and you wake up people that are already in the room sleeping.
That was the kicker of the whole thing. Yeah.
And the other thing that happened is I've never ridden in a police car my entire life, but I did on Thursday night because
downtown Vancouver, corner of Hastings Street and Nelson. For people who know Vancouver, Hastings and Nelson, that's where we end up with 3 kids, 1 5-year-old and 1 7-year-old. Thank you, WestJet Airline.
They sent us to a hotel that was closed because it was in such a dangerous neighborhood that they close at 11 because there's too many homeless shelters in that area, and
they locked the lobby at 11. So at 1 a.m. we ended up like right next to the Roxy's bar on Hastings Street, on Granville and Nelson, and the police car had to escort us. When the police officer say, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
Like, we don't know. WestJet sent us here. The hotel won't let us in. Help.
Yeah. So anyhow, let's stop that. There's a good crew already following us tonight. So let's talk about wine. Let's talk about great things, because it's been 2 years that we spent 2 years with all of you guys, Canadian wine lovers, some wonderful members like Debbie and Leslie and Daryl and Vicky and Jean-Denis and Simon, and like name some names.
Danny.
We had so many over the years, and we're celebrating 2 years today. I want to know, where are you tuning from? And I want to know what's in your glass today, because it's the day after Canada Day. It's long weekend. People are probably home, sitting on their patio and having a glass of wine. So we have a couple of things going on today. We have 2 wines from both sides of the country. First and foremost, in my glass, you guys know our love for Pearl Marisette. So we cracked Pearl Marisette Rosalena, the rosé of Pearl Marisette that I just opened for the first time. And I love it. It's full body. It's big. It's a food wine. And Mira is gonna, that's so funny because she's been like sharpening her skill for savoring. And you should have seen her at the party at Bellaterra. We're going to talk about that party a little later on, because we had an absolute blast in Niagara, and we had that cool 100-people party that we throw at Bellaterra. And Mira was savoring bottles of bubblies all over the freaking place, taking people off their chair and say, "You come with me, come and savor wine." So Mira's like, "Well, why do I not should I savor a bottle of wine for our second anniversary? So she's getting ready right now, and she's in the backyard. She's gonna savor a bottle of Tender Hope Rosé Sparkling, one of my favorite, a 94, I think a 92 plus or 93 points, I believe. Carl's Wine Club. Yeah, Tender Hope. By the way, yeah, it's gonna be on feature next week. Well, next week. Coming up tomorrow for our VIPs. So Tender Hope's coming up for another cool feature, Washington State and VQA wine. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But Mira, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. So here we have the Tender Hope Rosé Bubbles. Okay, I've heard so this is what, my third time savoring a wine?
And you're still hitting for 1,000. You haven't missed one so far.
First two, yeah.
Make sure you take all the foil off, okay? Don't leave any foil on the neck of the bottle. So we have I think I would say, well, Joanne Benoit are opening a Big Red. Someone from Quebec City is opening a capsule from Stroon. Woo. I would say it's probably Alain Dessert, probably, who's opening a Stroon, because I knew he was stopping at Stroon after the Bellaterra party. Anyhow, right, Leslie from Calgary is opening, has a Deep Roots Gamay open. Oh, speaking about Deep Roots.
Hey, Steven.
Steven Shapiro, the man, the myth, the legend. Steven, glad to have you on. Happy anniversary. I hope your summer is off to a good start. By the way, if you're anywhere near Summerland in the next few weeks or few months, you make sure to let us know and you swing by. We can't wait to catch up with you, Stephen. But this is Chantal. Chantal is having Stroon.
Nice. All right, guys. Let me tell you the quick and dirty on what I've learned about savoring wines. My third attempt here. So you have to chill it, and then you find the thin little seam line that's on every bottle, and then you run 45-degree angle. You run this along here, and usually it works.
Why? You take the cage off, for God's sake.
Oh, you have to take the cage off?
Well, you sure have to take the cage off. Sure?
You take the cage off, okay.
Of course, I know. I've been doing that for 20 years.
Ah, that's why. See? You were always prepping these for me. See?
I know.
All right, ready?
There you go.
Woo!
There you go.
See? Take the cage off. Cheers.
Yes, cage off. Perfect cut again. See, I think, and it's always when I say, like, sometimes the coach has just a little to do with it, but still has a little to do. Yeah.
Totally. Okay, well, I'm bringing this up for you, and I'm getting some of that Rosalina because that
perfect. We have Greg here. Well, Kelly Swank here. Kelly, great to see ya. What's in your glass today, Kelly? I want to know, because here we have Rosalina from Pearl Morissette. There, Rosalina, Pearl Morissette Rosé here. Mira's bringing me a glass of Tender Hope Sparkling Rosé. So it's warm here, 29 degrees by the lake. Believe it or not, we worked all day. We were up pretty early today, catching up on that mayhem from our trip in Niagara. But we were up early. We worked all day on the patio, right where Mira's sitting right now for the live. But you'll see the backdrop is pretty amazing. Kelly's drink is on the dark side tonight, drinking tequila. Holy moly, going hard. So for our second year anniversary today, celebrating Carl's Wine Club second years. There you go.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers. Damn.
This one's yours, my dear. This one. I already drank half of this one. Guess what? Our neighbor saw me savor that, and he has like a massive bayonet that he uses for savoring wine.
Who?
Dan.
Rob? Oh, Dan.
Yeah, he bought it for his kids to savor. Party tricks.
Cheers. Cheers. Hey. You have your glass of Rosalina?
Oh, no, I know.
There you go.
There we go.
Double fisting. And yeah, good thing happened here today, because we're gonna host Rob Amersley and Michelle and Karen Chapman tonight for dinner. little barbecue by the lake. So we're looking forward for many more bottles going to be open tonight for our 2 years anniversary celebrating here with Carl's Wine Club. Well, I think first and foremost, before we go through some highlights of our first 2 years and what Mira was all out about today, I think she built a little store online. So you guys can check out some of our first swag. We are opening Carl's Wine Club store, and we have available one of our new baseball cap, T-shirts, mugs, and some cool stuff like that. And I think it's now live and available. Correct, Mira?
Yes, it is. We just sent an email with it. It'll look prettier in the next week or so, but you guys can order them already. So super exciting. We should let's show a few pictures because we're going to give a couple things away, right, Carl? Everyone who's commented, I'm going to put you guys in a draw shortly. So we have the classic finally available for purchase is the Carl's Wine Club mug. Boom.
Okay. There's a red handle on this one. That's the original. Remember, everyone? That's the original. This one's been broken for almost a year and a half. And that's the original. This is my spit mug, and everyone is calling it the spit mug, but it can be a coffee mug, right? So this is now available.
Carl's done that, and then he ends up spitting in his coffee almost every morning. It's pretty bad.
And did we make the other one, the collector edition, available as well, or only the Carl's Wine Club?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So the collector edition is also available. Well done, Mira Boucher. Well done. Love that one. Absolutely love that one. The collector edition.
And then these are the fun new things that no one's seen. So there's the women's and men's T-shirts. I Heart Canadian Wine, and on the back it says discovering world-class wines since 2020.
There you go. So this is the woman one. We also have the men version. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And the baseball cap. So this is the one with the mesh. Okay, half of it is mesh. So this is a great quality hat. This is not that little crappy, soggy hat. Well, so this one is a pretty cool one. So perfect for golf, perfect for backyard drinking,
wine tasting,
and perfect like you can go in the water with it and all the fun stuff. Is
stuff.
it? I think it's embroidered, eh?
It's what?
I think is it a patch on it, or how's that work? How did
embroidered? Yeah, it's embroidered. Yeah. So it's nice. Like there you go. That little logo there, embroidered. Yeah, for sure. And then we also have available our very favorite wine aerator. Since we discovered this, we hardly ever decant our wines anymore because this will do the same job as a decanter, but instantly. And so it makes it way easier, especially if you're doing a tasting with multiple wines. It's hard to decant like 3 or 4 wines at a time. So
that's the perfect one. The perfect one. Now, like many wineries are using that now throughout the Okanagan. Thanks, Carl's Wine Club, for distributing it. And well, it's funny enough because and because there was another distributor, aka Marcel Morgenstern, who like we were going through wineries in Niagara. You can see the Enovino a little bit all over the place as well. So wineries are using it a lot for their tasting room. Great tool. And if you want one or a couple for home, this make a tremendous difference when you taste wine. It's like decanting your wine for a couple of hours, and yeah, perfect stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that sparkling rosé. Darn that I love that. Just slightly off dry. I would say it's probably like around the 8-9 gram of residual sugar. I have to look at it, but slightly off dry. Not sweet at all, bright acidity, but just a little like cherry sweetness. who comes up at the end, but bright acidity, beautiful, beautiful representation of the Okanagan. A splash of Merlot in there, Pinot Noir. I think there's a little bit of Chardonnay as well. No, there's some Pinot Blanc in there. I remember, if I remember correctly, the tasting notes. But
nice.
We are gonna feature Tender Hope next week. Tomorrow, gonna be sent to our VIP, but still available all day today. Westcott Vineyard. So we have Westcott. Oh, yeah. So yeah, we have Westcott. Leslie, I'll be back with my answer in a few seconds. You are correct. We tasted a crazy good bottle of wine in Niagara, thanks to Mike LaPlante, the average wine enthusiast. I'll be back with you. So until tomorrow, we have Westcott Vineyard still available. There's 9 bottles on that amazing, amazing feature. There's 3 Chardonnays, there's 3 Rosés, there's 2 Pinots. They're a first ever release of Cabernet Franc from Westcott. So we have wines from $20 all the way to $60 a bottle. There is one of my ultimate favorite, the Butler's Grand Chardonnay, the 2020 vintage, available. 4 wines on that feature was not available for the public, not available anywhere else. But if you are one of their wine club members, or if you are part of Carl's Wine Club, because even for the wine club members, example, for the Brilliant Rosé Sparkling, it's sold out. There's just a few cases left available exclusively for Carl's Wine Club. So if you're looking for top premium, but well priced, on Niagara wine, Vinemont Ridge appellation, and 20 Mile Bench, Westcott Vineyard, get to it, because these are real treat. The Pinot Noir Rosé is fantastic. The Brilliance Rosé, I give it a 93 points. Obviously, the Chardonnay Butler's Grant, 94 points. The first ever release of the Butler's Grant Cabernet Franc. It's really cool. So some real good wine. Ooh, awesome. It's hot up here. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. We got to figure out some better air circulation in that office area you got there. Hey, let's tell people about what we did this last month. I know some of you guys joined us in person, which was freaking amazing. The whole adventure started.
How about I finish with Leslie? About the deep fruits, because deep fruits, I've never tried any of the deep fruits before. And but that's what you were about to say, Mira. We were in Niagara. We rented a place 10 minutes walk from Niagara Falls, so that's pretty darn cool. Never been to Niagara Falls before, and real cool place. First and foremost, really, like, we had like the fireworks every night at 10 p.m. and it's a cool walk down, like with your loved one, like a really romantic evening. But it was cool for the kids, because the kids had the chance to go to Clifton Hills every day and have a blast with the grandparents, going to arcades and haunted houses and the sky wheels and all of that cool stuff, and like a mini Vegas, where it was really cool. So, but we did a full day of touring, and Mike LaPlante, who's the average wine enthusiast, really cool members, and he's been following us since the beginning, came by our rental place on Saturday afternoon, I believe, and brought with him a couple bottles. He had just received his package from Lakeside Cellar from BC and brought the 100% Saint Saul Rosé from Lakeside. We had that. It was 36 degrees that day. We were jumping in and out of the pool, tasting the Saint Saul Rosé from Lakeside. And he also brought the 2017 Deep Fruit Syrah. That very specific wine won the Lieutenant Governor Award in 2019 with the 2017 vintage Syrah. It was my first try of any of the wine of Deep Fruits, and wow, it was pretty darn good. So yeah, so that's what I was just about to say about Deep Fruit. So now that we live across the lake from Deep Fruit, for people we don't know. We're in Summerland here, just across the lake from the Naramata Bench, and Deep Roots are located in the Naramata Bench. So now we're gonna have to go see Deep Roots and see what can we do to get a lineup of wine from Deep Roots so we can feature them to our members at some point, hopefully during the falls or early winter. So Leslie, that's what I had to say about Deep Roots. Very impressed about the with the 2017 Syrah. I think it was at least a 93 points Carl's Wine Club. Obviously, I have to say one thing. It was a 36-degree day, sitting by the pool. So it was much more of a rosé day, of a cold, bright, fresh white than a Syrah day. But Mike wanted me to taste it. So I believe that if I taste that wine in a little better and the more appropriate circumstances, I can enjoy that wine even more than I've done that very afternoon. But even then, at 36 degrees, scorching hot afternoon, that Syrah was absolutely off the chart.
Yeah, that was really good. We were super impressed. So we have to go for a tasting there soon, I think. Hey.
That's what I was just mentioning. So yeah, did someone came over and chat with you, or?
Oh no, just our neighbor. I was trying to get him a glass of bubbly, but he was leaving, so he's come back later. Yes, so our adventure with meeting you guys in person started in early June out in BC. So back when we did the Members' Choice Awards, members voted Black Market in Caledon, BC as our #1 pick for wineries we tried last year. And they voted Bellaterra Vineyards in Ontario for #1 in Ontario. And when we announced that they'd won, each winery was like, well, we got to meet each other. And then some members, like I think it was Bryn Hall, that had the idea that, well, we should do a get together at each winery, like a little reunion party, right? And we were so excited because we hadn't seen anyone in person in so long. So we did it. It was really good. And so we started with out here, Black Market, and we were right in the vineyard. This was like, what, June 3rd, Carl?
Not sure about the exact day, but I can tell you it was an absolute deluge. It was an absolute downpour in the afternoon, a couple of hours before we started the vertical library tasting with Rob. Yeah. We had a flooding in the vineyard, flooding in the winery, an absolute downpour. It was so nerve-wracking.
And then when it started, it was gorgeous. Like, look at the sky here. There was like cracks of sun coming through. It was amazing. And we're overlooking Skaha Lake, and we have Rob with his wines. So we started with a vertical of their wines at Black Market. And then
6 vintage in a row since the first ever release of the syndicate. 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Yeah. The 6 vintages in a row of the syndicate. Led by, there you go, led by Rob. And we had our special guests we were freshly arrived from Ontario, Marcel Morgenstern, Fred DeProfio, the winemaker at Bellaterra. There we go, Fred and Rob here exchanging tips and exchanging. You should have seen these two guys talking about tractors and tank and barrels and all of
here's
that.
Rob over on the other side in Ontario with Fred's tractor. So
yeah, and okay, later tonight, okay, let's put a timer, and I wanted to let everyone knows what's the plan now. That what Fred and Rob talk about at Bellaterra at 11 p.m.
Yeah, there's no plan yet. There's no plan, but we had a crazy idea. You guys tell us if you think it's a good idea or not. We don't have no idea if it's feasible yet. But at like 11 o'clock at night when we were at Bellaterra, so this was the scene at Bellaterra. It was a bigger party, more members out in the Niagara area, I guess, than around wine country in BC.
But it was also later later on, and I think it was easier to get through there because early June was not as as easy for members to get to the Okanagan. And I would say that Niagara's proximity from the big center, aka Toronto or the GTA, was easier to bring some members and bigger and like in larger amount.
So anyway, it was like here at 11 at night when it got dark out, and Rob from Black Market, the winemaker, and Fred from Bellaterra, winemaker there, were like, well, what if we made a cross-country blend?
But the real conversation started by, for Carl's Wine Club, second edition, we should collaborate together. We should make a blend together.
Yeah, because we have the Carl's Wine Club Members Red made by Bellaterra, right?
Who was served at the party at Bellaterra. So these two gonzo have pooched, and like, oh yeah, we should. Nah, maybe just a little bit.
Well, we did taste a lot of wines, and we did not have the spit mugs at this event, but there were spit buckets. But yes.
So yeah, so they came up with the idea to do a East-West wine. So a blend of wine, of juice from Black Market blended with some juice from Bellaterra, something who's never been made before. So so anyway, so they're starting to talk about that, and I just got to get right into that conversation. I'm like, oh my God, now we're off to something. And just before we leave, who's coming? Like Lou Puglisi, the owner at Bellaterra, say, hey guys, I think we should do a collaboration for the next Carl's Wine Club wines. And we all looked at each other. It's like, what? We've just been talking about it for the last 30 minutes. So I think that yeah, it might be something that we're gonna explore all summer long and see what we can do about that plan. What do you think of that plan, Mira?
I love it. It's super fun. Super fun. I think,
yeah, you know, I think it would be historical. I think we need to document that whole project beyond what we ever done before.
Yeah, from A to Z. So we'll keep you in touch on each part of it. But what is cool about this is there are wineries out there that do wines with grapes from all over the country. It's true. But they have no idea where the hell these grapes came from, and they don't care, because that's how you make made in Canada grapes. And that's not the point of this. The point of this is to still respect the typicity of the terroir, as you would say, Carl. You still know where they come from, what vineyard, what that vineyard's like. But then if you blend the two together, then you get a real Canadian kind of wine. I think it would be pretty cool to do it that way.
And you know, we always said every wine has a story waiting to be told. Can you imagine the story behind that wine? The stories of two regions, the story of an economy, the stories of farmers, the story of regions, the story of, on one side, we're talking about like some of the most iconic families who build regions, and now coming to that culmination of, I don't know, to me it's just like it's so crazy in a sense, but in another one so feasible, because it is totally feasible. So anyway, that's what came out of this, because the last month, Mira, now, okay, we're July 2nd. So a month ago today, tomorrow, it was our dinner at Black Market. So the last month was pretty special and pretty unique in a sense that Bellaterra team flying all the way to Western Canada, touring the Okanagan, culminating with the dinner at Black Market. 3 weeks later, having the Black Market, Michelle and Rob flying to Niagara, touring Niagara, visiting with farmers, like these. And for us to be right, thanks for, yeah, thank you. But for us to be witness of Rob, we're tailgating with Brian Schmidt at Vineland Estate, with Rob and Brian talking about
That was cool.
grafting vines and tractors and all of that, or Rob and Michelle talking with Suan at Suan's ancestral house, and Casey Kulzik at Westcott tasting barrel samples with us and Rob, and having that, like, I don't know, it was just, the whole thing was so magical. And having like Lou, Fred, and Marcel walking the vineyard with Gavin at that upper bench, and or Lou or Fred talking drain in the winery with Amber Pratt at Moraine. You know, all of these cool conversation where we were right in the middle of that. It was extremely special in the last month. So that brings me to talk about the whole purpose, the whole soul, the whole why we started Carl's Wine Club, right? Like, that was to build that whole wine lover community based on Canadian wines, but also based on passion. And now I don't think I did not saw that coming at the beginning, seeing East and West meeting each other and collaborating, and like that part I've never seen. I've never imagined that when we were building the business plan, right?
No, super cool.
And that was one of my favorite parts so far. But no, I would say that my favorite part is to meet with the members. I think it's something that it can be replicated, because meeting every single people, like, remember, I have Steven Shapiro here commenting. Steven was one of our first members that we met in person.
Yes.
When he came to our previous house in West Kelowna. But I started with these parties at the Delta Hotel at the Delta South in Calgary. So we have been growing in the sense of what we've been doing since 2 years, and it's pretty freaking phenomenal.
Bring in Nova Scotia and it'll be coast to coast, Ken says. I love it.
Oh, absolutely. And we've done it. We've done it a month ago where
the feature, but in the wine, he's saying, eventually.
That can be some, I believe that it can be something doable, because
we could add a little bit of like Nova Scotia in the blend, right?
You know?
And maybe a little bit of Vancouver Island, and then you got the whole the whole country. Well, we're missing Quebec, I guess. And there are some people making wines in the prairies, if you can believe it, but not grape wine, I don't think. So we'll leave it with grapes for now. But yeah, I mean, we don't want it to be a freak. That's the thing. That only thing that bothered me a little was I was like, I still want to know where these wines come from and like who made them and the story and everything like that, right? So I think that this way we could do it. It's the beauty of social media. We could share the whole story as it happens, right?
And I think that's where we were extremely tenacious, in the sense that we haven't skipped a whole lot of Wednesday to show up and to talk to the members and to do our Wednesday wine happy hour, keeping everyone in the loop and what's going on, what's the weekly feature, but also introducing the winemakers, introducing the wineries. So I think we believe that it's a great platform for the winemakers or the winery owners to talk directly to the members, and offering that platform. Or we had some pretty cool Cellar Confidential as well. Oh, yeah. Like interviews with Sandra Oldfield or I don't know, Mark Simpson or Suan Staff. Like all of these great people, when we have the chance to talk for an hour and some do you remember the one with Pearl Morissette, Svetlana?
Yeah, that was like 2 hours or something.
2 hours of like absolute passion. And like, so anyway, being in the middle of all that, the instigator of all that, has been so rewarding. And just seeing the membership growing growing and growing. Tell our members which region of the country just exploded for us in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, somebody in PEI let the word out about Carl's Wine Club, because there's been a lot of people from PEI ordering wines through Carl's Wine Club. So thanks, whoever that was.
Yeah, I think I can't remember the name. Stratford, PEI. I believe that's the name of this city. Which,
yes.
But anyway, some little.
Because we can see it, like, as people place their orders, we're like, okay, that's somebody just placed an order from PEI, and then we're like, oh, their neighbor just placed an order, and then we're like, oh, like someone 3 streets over just placed an order, and you can tell, like, it's just a group of friends that have all found out about this, and they're all ordering, which is really cool.
That's real cool.
Yeah. So, hey, let's talk quickly about what happened after the Bellaterra party, because that was epic. That was epic. We were taking pictures with the tractor. We sabered wines. I convinced quite a few people to saber some wines. It was really cool.
You sure did. You sure did.
The vertical with tank samples and older vintages, and then we had this at the big tent. But then we checked out a new vineyard that was just planted of Sauv Blanc, right on the lake, Ontario.
So yeah, Lakeshore, Ontario Lakeshore, Niagara Lakeshore appellation, obviously right on the lake, like right on the shore of Lake Ontario. So that was the day after the party. Lou Puglisi, the owner of Bellaterra, invited us for a little barbecue at his house. So with Marcel and his family, and Lou and his 2 sons, and my parents and Mira and our kids. We even lost one of our kids that night. Absolutely. Yeah. They were playing hide and seek, and we lost one for almost half an hour. Our youngest,
really well and laughing.
Yeah, behind tanks in the production facility. It was some, yeah. Anyway, so at the end of the dinner, Marcel said, guys, hop in the car. Oh, I need to go show you. We want to show you our new acquisition. So we drove all the way to Lakeshore, and we visited that incredible piece of land, that incredible vineyard right on the Ontario Lake shore, shore, and the sunset and the whole thing. It was something pretty darn special.
Yeah, it was spectacular. It really was. We actually said maybe next time we go there for a party.
Yeah, exactly. So
imagine being right there next to the vines, having a beautiful dinner and wine tasting. It would be amazing. And then the fun didn't end, okay? Because the next day, this guy, who is Fred DeProfio, the winemaker at Bellaterra, he has actually started making his own wines, like his own label of wines in the last little while. And he surprised us with this beauty. It's a can of sparkling rosé. Probably,
and that's absolutely delicious.
The best sparkling rosé from a can I've ever tasted, and one of
that's true. And I'm with you.
In general,
I'm with you. And if in terms of a can, how many glass I want on the Mira scales, what's your scale on that?
Oh, I went through that can pretty fast, and I was like, I want at least 24. I want 24 to have when I go on a walk somewhere in the park, when I go sailing, when I go on a boat, when I go, sitting out here on the lawn next to the lake. Like, it was really delicious, and it was so convenient that it was on the boat like this. So there we are sailing, and we had that lovely can of rosé. It was just fantastic. The other thing it was great for is the next day we were stuck in Toronto longer than we expected because of all these crazy delays. And we had a can or two with us. So it was great. We didn't have like wine glasses. We were really roughing it. But it was really nice to enjoy that. Oh, yeah. Kelly's already asking the $1 million question. When can we order the can? We're working on it. Probably in a couple weeks, max.
We need to set the whole thing up, but yeah, we're on it, right?
Yeah. So he made that. That was his first run making wine in cans, and it's top quality stuff. Like a lot of times.
Oh yeah, top notch quality.
Wineries are stupid. They don't put good juice in the cans. It's a really bad move, but we tasted like 30 plus wine in cans one time just to see. And there were only a few that were actually really good. And a lot of them were not. So that's why we featured Castora de Oro. They make good wine in cans. And this is another one that we were thrilled to discover. It was a great wine in can. And he just made the rosé sparkling this time. Maybe next year he'll make more. But oh, Ken has been having that wine from Fred's.
Well, we had the chance to meet Ken.
Yes,
Ken and his wife
amazing.
at the dinner out there. It was absolutely awesome to meet you, Ken. And he's also a big supporter of Hillfire. So Mira, show us your shirt. Turn around. We want to see the back.
Can you see it?
What happened in okay, stand up now. Okay, what happened in Niagara wine country is a story worth telling. So yeah, we ended up on the Thursday to go to Hillfire,
for the
a
evening.
project was started by Marcel Morgenstern and Lou Puglisi in it's in Font Hill, just outside of Niagara, a bottle shop where they sell almost at the winery price. Many wines were not available at the LCBO, like some wine, like really rare, directly. Like it's an amazing concept of bottle shop.
Yeah,
great food.
Really great concept. We loved it. And then what was not on the shelf, but was provided from the personal cellar of Marcel Morgenstern, thank you so much, Marcel, was a bottle of...
Holy shit, I forgot about that. Oh my God.
What was the vintage again?
1999 Cabernet Franc from Pilaterie. So Marcel, he said, guys, I don't know what you expect about that bottle. I think it's probably dead. I wanted to pop the cork just to see where is that on the curve and how bad that wine may have turned. So we opened a 1999 Cabernet Franc from Pilaterie, and when the cork came out, the cork was absolutely perfect with no leak on any side, just a little, like a millimeter of a rim. Perfect. And I'm smelling the cork and it smells absolutely clean. We're like, oh my God. Okay, pour the wine. The wine was intact, was pure. The wine was clean. Smelled it. Barely, no hint of oxidation. Slight hint of oxidation. We're looking at each other. It was like, what the heck is going on here? So we poured the wine. We waited a couple minutes, and the result was absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah.
A 1999 Cabernet Franc, who to this, like, if you blind tasted me with that wine, I would have said the 2014 or 2015. Let's say 2012 to 2014 to 2015 vintage. Incredible wine, 1999. Clean as it gets. It was a heck of an experience. What did you thought of it?
Oh, I thought it was amazing. And we also tried a 2002 Trius. But what's crazy is just like how well it aged, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we had that at Hillfire.
Hillfire, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll just get the picture of it. Ken's just saying that he was told Bellaterra started using a new cork, and I think that's right. I don't know, in the last couple of years, I'm not totally sure.
Not yet. I don't think that they have started yet. I think they are still in the process of selecting or choosing the new thing. They are planning to go through maybe a DM. It's a kind of a, I'm not sure exactly. I need to talk with Rob tonight to have a little bit more info. I know that Rob moved completely, Black Market moved completely to DM.
Yeah, but they're talking about Bellaterra.
Yeah, Bellaterra, I know, but like they are, I don't think they have made their final decision about the new cork.
Yeah.
So I know that Fred was ready to move. But Lou did not have made the final decision. So
okay. Well, this was the Pilotary 1999 Cab Franc we had. There it is. Crazy. It just makes me wonder, you know, what will some of the wines that we're starting to cellar now be like in 10 or 20 years? It's really cool.
Oh, and exactly.
That's why it's important to buy more than one, right? Because you can buy one to try now, one to try in 5 years, in 10 years, and then leave one for like 20 years from now, where it might be spoiled, but probably more than likely it's going to be really good.
Yeah, and you know, I've been doing cellar management for years, right? It was the core of my previous business. Tell people when to drink their wine, and I'm pretty sold on Canadian wines. I'm a big proponent and know that they can age. We saw it with Tinhorn Creek, how well they age, and more and more. But 1999 Cab Franc Pilotary, if you were asked me, what was the percentage, what chance for that wine to be still, I would say, drinkable? My guess would have been like 30% chance, 70% dead. So if you ask me what was the percentage of the chance that wine would have been as clean as it was, my answer would have been 0. Not a chance whatsoever. I've never thought that wine could have been that clean, that what we experienced. It was it was incredible, eye-opening for me. Change, like I need to revisit my understanding of ageability for some of these Canadian wines, because to me, my impression was, well, Pilotary was a little bit more of an entry level. But yeah, I was stunned. I couldn't believe it. We also tasted a 2010 Cabernet Franc from Bellaterra, like one of the first one from Marcel and Lou. The wine was amazing. It's the wine that we did at the VIP tasting. It was pretty cool. And also, we tasted the new 2021 in barrels. The three that we tasted: Merlot 2020, Meritage 2020, and Cab Sauv 2020 from Bellaterra. Wine in bottle, in barrel still. Probably will be bottled later this fall. Wow. The Merlot, the Meritage from Bellaterra 2020 is something incredible. I can't wait for this wine to be in bottles. So yeah, was it the Meritage or the Merlot? Both were spectacular, but yeah, incredible. Ken was there, part of that tasting with us, and yes, I'm glad that you can enjoy it as much as I did. So yeah, that tasting was pretty cool. And the dinner, obviously, the dinner at Bellaterra was bang on. We had a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Lots of stuff happened that night, and yeah. How you doing, Mira? You're on mute. There you go.
Yeah, I know. How are you doing?
I'm cooking up here.
Oh, it's warm in the hallway.
I'm cooking up here. It's so darn hot up here.
Yeah. Ken mentioned that the map we had there in Niagara that they do at Hillfire has all the different wineries, and it's true. It's really cool. I have not seen something like that around. I think we need to, as Carl's Wine Club, start making some really cool map posters.
Yes, absolutely. And I had Stephanie. Is it Stephanie? Yeah, Stephanie will send me a copy of that map.
Oh, that Emily who made it.
No, not Emily.
No. Okay.
What's their name? The other girl who helped us to plan the whole party.
Natalie.
Yeah. Natalie will send us. She said that she's gonna send me a copy of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah. So what else can we get? What else can we talk about regarding our trip? So we had. Oh, okay. Let's talk about a little bit about our day of touring, because we toured. Well, a couple of highlights of our Thursday when we went visit 4 wineries, and we toured with Mike Laplante, the average wine enthusiast, and his wife. Rob Amersley and Michelle Sawchuk, owner of Black Market, Carl and Mira. So we went on an epic tour that day where we stopped at 13th Street to start, 13th Street Winery. We had the chance to, well, we had a great tour of the whole winery, of the art gallery. We met with a bunch of great people. We had an outstanding lunch. But to me, the highlight of my tour and my tasting and my lunch, the lunch was pretty cool too, at 13th Street was the new Syrah. They are just releasing a new Syrah in the upcoming week that will change your mind on Niagara Syrah. Absolutely off the chart. We were so impressed by the juice in the bottle. 2019 vintage, I believe, or maybe from the 2020. I can't remember. We're gonna receive
I'll find out in a sec. Yeah. I think.
But anyway, that Syrah that we tasted at 13th Street was eye-opening. We also tasted the new 2020. The new 2020 Vice Check Chardonnay. I've always been a big fan of the Vice Check Chardonnay. 19 was fantastic. The 2020 is just coming out, so it was pretty impressive. Also, they are famous for one thing at 13th Street. Outside of their bubbly and gamay, there's also something that people travel across Ontario to go to 13th Street. It's for their butter tart. Yeah. Guess what? They're as good as advertised, if not even better than I was expecting. Holy shit, that these butter tart were good. So yeah, we had a really good lunch. Fire oven, like the little pizza oven, right on the patio. Nice fresh salad, great charcuterie, and obviously the butter tart for the end. But a nice 2 hours spent with Elia at 13th Street was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, so I got to tell you, it was the 2020 Syrah.
Okay.
At 13th Street that we had.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any picture from 13th Street that we can show?
I'm trying to, but you know, they're in a weird format, so I can't show them. But let me see here what I've got.
Well, there you go.
No, this is a teaser though. So the next place we went to was Vineland.
Yeah, after that we went to Vineland. But what was, here you go, tailgate party at Vineland. The tailgate party was, you know, Brian Schmidt is known across the country to be one of the coolest wine person ever. He's a farmer. He's a real vigneron. He spent most of his time in the vines, planting vines. That's his passion. Cabernet Franc is his thing. We've been big fan of Vineland since earlier this year, because we discovered them earlier this year. But to meet them in person was already a big highlight of my year. But when we got there, you never know what to expect, right? You contact a winery, say, hey, we're a small group, we want to meet, we want to tour, we want to taste. So we never know what you're going to get. They say, yeah, we're going to wait for you, we're going to be ready for you. When we got to the winery, they stopped us at the entrance of the parking lot. They said, okay, follow us. And we met with Brian. We did the tailgate party. What a tailgate party means? It means that Brian took us on his in his truck with a case of wine, a bunch of glassware, and driving from vineyard to vineyard, tasting each and every wine from the very specific vineyard where they're from, having every single explanation possible from inside the vineyard with him and all of the story of the whole thing. So it was really, really, really unique and special.
Yeah, it was quite amazing. I still want to put together, and will for you guys, a video of all of it. It'll be fun to watch, just a little 5-minute recap, because there was some super fun locations and insights that we got on that whole trip. It was really cool.
Oh, absolutely. And just the information was just, and it was so authentic, right? There's like nothing like a tasting room tasting. like a flight of 5 wines. And after that, we ended up in the cellar, where it's one of the most amazing cellar in the country. So we ended up in the cellar at the Vineland, having some charcuterie down there. There you go. Yeah, it was pretty unique. We had the chance to taste the reserve Pinot Meunier sparkling rosé in the Pinot Meunier vineyard. We tasted the Chardonnay and the Chardonnay Muscat in the Chardonnay Muscat vineyard. We tasted Cap Franc, 2 different clones of Cap Franc, 2 different bottles of Cap Franc in the Cap Franc vineyard. And we had the story of the legacy wine, something that we're going to talk more a little later on. But they have a project. Well, they have put together a 10-year project. It's called the Legacy Wine, and it's we heard the whole story from the mouth of the owner. So yeah, really cool.
Very special. So that was Vineland. And then I only have one quick picture here to give you an idea, but we got to hang out with Sue Ann from Sue Ann Staff Estate Winery. Sue Ann herself in her family's ancestral home on their 200-plus-year-old estate.
House.
Yeah, where they grow the wines. And she actually made us, so we had a vertical tasting of her Rieslings going back to 2008. And she made us her famous grilled cheese right as we were there with her. It was so good.
That was so good. It was so unique having her like cooking her very famous grilled cheese and coming back and like tasting all of the wines, and like, yeah, it was something really, really cool.
Yeah, amazing.
And after Sue Ann, we went to Westcott, where Grant Westcott and Casey the winemaker were waiting for us, and we did a 6. And then, you know, guy, if you know me, like, you know how I don't like Chardonnay at all. So I'm so passionate about Chardonnay. I am like, so yeah, it's a visceral passion. And they were waiting for us, and we tasted 6 different Chardonnays from Westcott. The Butler's Grand Vineyard versus the Westcott Vineyard, from different vintages, and some barrel samples from the future 2021 vintage coming up. So with all of the explanation from the winemaker, from the owner, we dissect all of these wines. And it was, yeah, to me, with my passion for Chardonnay, it was another really epic moment that day. So yeah.
Yeah, it was just very special. I'm just trying to get a quick picture of that. But yeah, I can't believe we got to experience all those things, Carl.
Yeah, yeah. And that was just like in a week. Like, we did all that in 1 week down in Niagara. And now we're not even talking about rainy. We didn't have to, but we had the opportunity. So it's crazy how connection happened. Alain and Joanne, that we met, some of our members came to our dinner, and they brought a friend with them. His name is Thane. So Thane, during the party, came to me and he said, "Hey, you come here. Do you have 5 minutes? I need to talk to you." So they're putting a new project together. We won't disclose anything just yet, but we have some pretty cool thing about the new project happening in Ontario. And he said, one of my best friend and future partner, business partner, would like you to taste his wine. His name is Graham Rainey. And they just won big, I think it was top wine from Ontario at the Ontario Wine Award. The best of class or the best of show or something like that. Anyway, come to our place when you leave Niagara on our way to Toronto. We just stopped there from a 50-acre vineyard on the Beamsville Bench, and we went to taste 5 of the Rainey's wine. And wow, what an experience. He makes a Appassimento and a Chardonnay. That's yeah, some pretty cool stuff is going to come out of that. So
Yeah, that was pretty special. And I don't think many people have ever tasted those wines. It was a passion project, started what, like 15, many years ago, right? And he planted the vineyard in the late 90s, I think. And yeah,
1996.
so we got to taste that. It was delicious.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and that's just the whole experience. Right? Like, he hosted us in his house, tasting these like epic wine and getting all of the information, and like this is that it was a unique experience. And thank you again, Alain and Joanne. Thank you for being there and introducing us to your friend. And that's how connection happened. That's how you rewrite the history book. I guess.
Well, it's so funny because while we're sitting there tasting, Alain actually called Thane.
Yeah.
Thane was like, sorry, I can't talk. I'm with your friend Carl.
Yeah. True enough. There you go. There you go, Graham, Thane, Mira, and Carl. So at that really beautiful vineyard on the Beamsville bench, who's like everything was set up by Don Triggs, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, in the late 90s, he bought the land, but it wasn't planted yet. And so he had the chance meeting with Don Triggs right as Don Triggs was starting his winery. And Don was saying, I really need land and I'll plant it for you. So he planted the original vines, and they are now, 20, almost 25 years old, right? It's pretty cool.
So that was our last stop. Daryl's in the house. Daryl, we had a chance to meet Daryl in person at Westcott. He was just like that, just by pure luck, picking up an order at Westcott when we were there. So thanks for joining us for that tasting. It was pretty cool. Also, I think I thought of something that we forgot about the trip, and I just forgot. There's so many things happened that week.
Yeah. And so then after we met with Graham Rennie and checked out all his wines, we went to Toronto.
We went to Toronto.
Yeah, we celebrated this guy's birthday at the Red Sox game.
Yeah, the Red Sox, my favorite baseball team, were in the house at Rogers Stadium. Okay, we lost. That's okay. We had a great time with the kids at the Rogers Stadium, and a couple of days in Toronto. Wow, I forgot. Yeah, that's what we forgot about. How about 36 bottles of Thomas Batchelder?
Oh, how could we forget? This is how we were welcomed to Niagara. As we pulled up after a fiasco with the rental car situation, as we pulled up to Niagara, Thomas Batchelder, who we've only talked to by phone before.
Via email a couple times.
Email. He said, hey, I'm leaving to Chianti tomorrow. I can't take these wines with us. They were just opened for a tasting with the Gazette and like a bunch of newspapers.
La Presse, the Gazette, the Toronto Star. So he opened 36 of his wines for journalist panel in the afternoon. So keep going, Mira. I'll let you finish the story.
Yeah, and so he opened all these wines. He said, you got to stop by, and we keep him posted. We're like, we're still at the car rental place. We're still there. I don't think we're going to make it, Thomas, because it's now so late. You're probably gone. And he said, no, I am working till the wee hours of the morning. I am leaving for a big trip tomorrow. Stop by anytime. So we did. And lo and behold, we stopped by his winery, which he calls the Bat Cave, by the way. And it's pretty fun. And we tasted some tank samples, and then he sent us on with 36 bottles of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Gamay. It was so good.
We tasted one Chardonnay in particular. That
L'Ouest.
It's the Foxcroft Winfield West. Yeah. That wine will be in my report and that's going to be on my top wine of the year. One of the top Chardonnay that I've tasted. So there was a unique experience to taste Batchelder's wine side by side, all of the micro batch of wine that he does. It was unique and really special. Our first night when we arrived at Niagara, we put our kids to bed and we sat down, Mira and I, tasting Chardonnay from Batchelder. It
Like
was
2:30 in the morning.
we just arrived, and it was like absolutely epic. Also, something that we forgot. Also, our second night, we went to Leaning Post. So Nadia and Ilya at Leaning Post hosted us for not only a tasting, but for a dinner at their home with our kids. They have kids the age of our kids. Our kids were running up and down the vineyard while we tasted probably 20 or 20, I don't know how many wine from Leaning Post, but Ilya does pretty much the same kind of concept that Thomas Batchelder do, or Kevin at 2027 Cellar. He does small batch wine from very specific vineyard throughout Niagara. So we tasted all of these wines. And one more time, we found another extremely highly rated Chardonnay. The South Chuck Vineyard Chardonnay was the highlight of that day as well. So from my trip, there's 3 wines, 3 Chardonnays really stand out. It's the Batchelder, Foxcroft, Wingfield West, the Sandchuck Chardonnay 2019 from Leaning Post, and the 2020 Butler's Grant from Westcott. These 3 Chardonnays are very special. Very special.
Yeah.
The Syrah from 13th Street also really stand out. The Meritage in Barrel from Bellaterra really stand out as well. So we have we tasted some really cool wine.
Speaking of tasting wines, Carl Boucher, we are going to taste some wines tonight, aren't we?
We are, because we're hosting some friends for dinner. Michelle, Southchuck, Rob Hammersley.
And Rob Hammersley and Jan and Karen, our friends here who live a couple towns over and work at Black Market Wine Co. So we got back from our trip and we wanted to compare notes and tell them all about what happened with our crazy 48-hour return journey.
Move on to that. A little celebration for Carl's Wine Club, right? That's the reason.
Yes, exactly. A little 2-year anniversary celebration. But before we do that, we want to award a couple prizes, okay? So let's spin the wheel here and see who won. If you haven't put comments in, do them now. I'll get you on the second draw we'll do. So we're going to give away a couple things. We're going to give away a Carl's Wine Club iconic spit mug. This bad boy.
This one?
Right. Not quite that one, Carl, because yours is pretty beat up. And
That's what makes it so iconic.
All right. And we're going to give away one of our new I Love Canadian Wine shirts. This is like, if you remember the I Heart New York shirts, but it's I Heart Canadian Wine. And on the back.
There you go. That's the kicker, the back.
Yeah. So let's see who's going to win this awesome prize. Should we let them choose, or should we announce which one we're drawing for?
Let's go with the mug first.
Yeah, okay. This is for the mug. So Jeanette, you can add to your collection. Jeanette and Danny came to our members event, and they actually got 2 of the collector mugs and 2 of the regular mugs. So
they double dipped in our event. They came touring with us, and they came to the dinner. We had they did the private tour with Carl's Wine Club, the BC edition of the tour. where we went to Upper Bench, to Red Rooster, to Moraine and the Times. And so, yeah, that was a heck of a party as well. So when we talk about our touring in Niagara, I'm sure that Jeanette and Danny know exactly what our guests from Niagara had to experience because they were there, and it's the same kind of experience. So
yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So Jeanette got the mug.
So congrats, Jeanette. And then let's do one more for the t-shirt. I'll be in touch, Jeanette. Since you have so many mugs, we might let you choose something else if you want. So let's see who is going to get the first person to ever get the I Heart Canadian Wine shirt.
The first ever. Who's going to be the first ever?
Chantal Vincent.
There you go. There you go, Chantal. The first ever I Heart Canadian Wines, the Carl's Wine Club, new official t-shirts. So Chantal, merci. Thank you for joining us again tonight. Wow, what a great show. 2 years. 2 years.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
When you're having fun.
Yeah, exactly. I love your shirt. I love what you're wearing today, Mira. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
The Hillfire Niagara shirt. So yeah, I think now we need to go get ready for our guests coming tonight. We're having a bunch of guests who coming over in the next couple of weeks. We have some guests from Prince George. Dimitru is going to be over in the next couple of days. We have Jean-Denis, Michel, and Mariam Quentin, our friends from Quebec and Alberta, who are just arrived in the Soyuz. They're touring the valley all week. And funny enough, they have a rental place right near our house in Summerland next week. So we're going to have them over for dinner. So if you ever travel the Okanagan, you want some tips, you want some booking, let us know. We're more than happy to help, to give us our resources and make sure that you have the time of your life touring the Okanagan.
Member asked, like, do you guys get a kickback or something if we book through you? We want to book through you so you get something, and we don't. But we do get the pleasure of seeing our members get the best experience they can and finding out in person what these amazing wineries we've discovered are like. So it's really something to give back to our members when we do that. And also it helps to have the wineries know that there's Carl's Wine Club members coming out to see them. Because then when we do a feature with them, they're more likely to give us, better deals on shipping. And
that's it. Because they understand the impact of what we can do, the impact we have across the country. And it's not only in terms of wine sales, it's in terms of people talking about them, hosting them for private for tastings and all that. So yeah, let us know. And yeah, 2 years. Oh my God, 2 years. Congratulations, Mira Boucher. It's been a heck of a ride. It's been so much fun. And I have to say, I am truly blessed to have the best business partner in the country. So thank you for your dedication, Mira. Thank you for making the whole thing happen. Thanks for your support. And yeah, building our dreams. So it's been pretty cool. What a great ride. 2 years and to many, many, many more, because we are just starting. There's so much more in the pipeline. There's so much we have so many ideas. It just need, there's that virtual cellar. There's that cross-country wine. There's these TV shows, and there's so much we want to do. There's so much it can be done, but also promoting some of the most amazing wines, Canadian wines, to everyone in the country, and building that outstanding wine lover community. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, you guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Have a good evening.